Before we get into today's video, I just want to thank you for being here and watching the videos that I post every Saturday. I just started this channel and it's something that I wanted to do for a really long time, so your support means everything to me. If you are new here, I talk about books and fragrances and philosophy and kind of everything else in between, and it would mean the world to me if you subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends and all of that stuff. So with that said, let's get into the video. We're talking about monthly favorites and a few other things at the end. Hi, I hope that you guys have had a great week. I am excited for today's video because it's the end of the month, so I'm going to be sharing some monthly favorites, and I get to watch all of your guys' monthly favorites, which I love doing and I look forward to every month. I think that I'm trying to decide how to kind of like intertwine my world of fragrances and books, and I feel like those are the two like main things that I talk about, and just like some sprinkles of philosophy here and there. But I know that on TikTok I'm starting a new series called Brand Diaries, where I want to feature some fragrance houses that I really adore and love and appreciate, and I feel like they really take their mission as a brand to the next level and tell stories about, like, you know, why they make certain fragrances. And I love the storytelling aspect of fragrance, and I'm going to be featuring that on TikTok. I might talk about it a little bit briefly on YouTube as well, but I know next week I'm going to be featuring some of my fragrance collection, which I've gotten some requests to do. And then I'm also, the following week, I'm going to do a big like summer post for the summer equinox. So I'm going to talk about books and some activities and perfumes that I've been loving for summer, and maybe like some recipe ideas. And just, I do this on Substack too because I love seasons and I love being able to integrate that into my life, just seasonal living and seasonality. So I'll be talking about that in a couple weeks when summer begins. I also have a really great June TBR that I'm going to be featuring next week as well, in addition to a fragrance collection video. So that's kind of like what to look forward to on this channel in the next upcoming weeks. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into monthly favorites. Starting with books, this was not a big reading month for me, but the first one I want to talk about is Miscellaneous by Jorge Luis Borges, and this is a collection of short stories that read like you're falling into a maze. Everything is mirrors and infinite libraries and imaginary books and time loops and metaphysics. You really think that you're reading fiction, but it's actually philosophy in disguise. And I really thought that this was brilliant and also very disorienting in the best way. And I definitely had to reread many parts of this book just to make sure that I understand them. And sometimes I didn't, but I loved it anyway. The next book that I really, really loved is The Selected Chronicles by Clarice Lispector. And these are her weekly newspaper columns from the 60s and the 70s. And they're little reflections on life, motherhood, dogs, loneliness, beauty, awkwardness, and also just nothing in particular. And they're very short and strange, but deeply human. And it felt like reading a friend's diary. It was very like playful and sharp and philosophical and very unhinged, which is exactly how I like her. I already mentioned this in a previous video, but I really loved Hellions this month. These were like short stories that were very gothic and horror adjacent, which I really, really loved. And I am also listening to this audiobook as well, and I love it. If you love spooky stuff, if you love like Southern Gothic horror, you will love this book. And I last minute decided to finish A Room with a View by E.M. Forster, and this is just a nice bite-sized piece of classic literature if you're in the mood for that sort of genre. And then I also started Bonjour Tristesse, which I really, really, really love this cover, and I really, really love this book. But I'm going to save my review and thoughts on this for June, but if you're looking for the perfect summer read, it's Bonjour Tristesse by François Sagan. If you know anything about me, you know how much I love print magazines. So Popeye is one of my favorite magazines. I really love the art and the fashion, and they even talk about fragrance a lot in this book too. But I read through this one and also this one. And what I like to do, because it's not, you can't buy this in the English version, so I just use my phone and translate it, and it's worth the effort. I don't know, I love reading through these magazines. And then I also bought a couple food magazines. No, I bought one food magazine, which is this one, randomly. I don't know why, but I do love food magazines. And then this is not the newest New Yorker, but I'm still kind of like working my way through the 100th anniversary issue. There's a lot of really great articles in here, and also just like the crossword puzzles and things that I'm just kind of like taking my time with in the evening if I just want to get off the screen, and if I don't feel like reading, this is what I gravitate toward. Okay, moving into scent. I was never really like an incense person, but the Aesop Kangaroo incense is so beautiful. It's green, herbaceous, and grounding. This smells like a study in stillness. There's vetiver and other notes that just feel like, I don't know, it's very therapeutic and calming. And it kind of feels like covered floors in a summer temple, like moss covered floors, and it burns very soft and slow, and it just, I feel like this kind of stops time and makes you unwind and sit with yourself and yeah, be present with your thoughts, and it's very therapeutic in that way. So love this, highly recommend it. The scent is beautiful. Lately, I've been reaching for Gaiac 10 by Le Labo, and this is a clean skin, warm wood scent with the faintest trace of incense. It's very intimate and smoky, and it smells like the sweater of someone who you love and you miss, and it's delicate and milky and weirdly emotional, but this is my favorite city exclusive and arguably my favorite Le Labo. I recently acquired Jasmine Tea by One Day, and this smells like a tea ceremony at dusk. There is jasmine, oolong, and a breath of sage and vetiver. It's very sharp and serene and almost melancholic. It just feels like reading old letters in the sun. Next is Eudelict by Fischersund, and this smells like sea salt in your hair and birch smoke on your coat. It's ozonic and herbal and leathery. It's the kind of scent that makes you feel like you've been wandering the northern cliff sides of Iceland, collecting thyme and herbs and, I don't know, magical stories. This scent quite literally makes you feel like you can breathe again. Contrastingly, I've also been loving Ground by Gabar, which is spiced fig, saffron, cedar. It's very deep and grounding woods, and this is earthy and luminous, like dry soil that's warming up under the late sun. It's incense adjacent, but more tactile, like rubbing bark between your fingers or breathing in the scent of old books. I love To Summer, this brand right here. I love Triple T and Osmanthus, which is very bright and sheer, like biting into a golden peach on a hot afternoon. There's Osmanthus, jasmine tea, and green leaves and amber musk. It gives it this very like effervescent, almost nostalgic softness. I've also kind of talked about this one ad nauseum, but this is Chloe Cedrus Intense, and this smells like the most elegant, beautiful, well-read woman in the room. It's very woody. It's woody and sensual, but elegant. There is nothing offensive about this scent. It's just beautiful and yeah, just classy. That's the best way that I can describe that this is just classy. I talked about this a couple of monthly favorites back, but this is the Hinoki hand soap by Le Labo. I love this. I use it every day. I'm almost out of it. I love woody scents. If I'm feeling anxious, this brings me down to earth, and I love it. It's perfect. Any season, this is absolute perfection. There are 2 candles that I've been loving this month. The coffee candle from Nico Neko Zakaya, and also Cotton Poplin by Byredo, which is like the cleanest, freshest, most perfect spring summer candle that you could ever get your nose on or your hands on or whatever. It's perfect. I love this one, and it just smells clean. That's the best way I can describe it, is just clean and fresh and inviting too. Like if you have guests over, this is perfect. Moving into food and beverages, I don't have a lot this month, honestly. The first one is this candy. It's vegan, like healthy-ish. Gummies. I've been like devouring these like crazy. Also, they don't leave like a weird bad taste in your mouth. So I have been absolutely loving these, and I'm trying not to eat them every day, but it's really hard because they're very addictive, and they're actually sour, which is hard to find with like healthy candy. This corn silk tea is another thing that I've been loving a lot. And also Ippodo matcha, which is like sold out everywhere. There is like a matcha shortage, which is awful. But this is the best matcha, in my opinion, so far, that I've tried. I've also just like really been enjoying warm soy milk before bed. Or like sometimes I'll put a little bit of cinnamon and honey. But warm soy milk before bed is just the most comforting thing, in my opinion. It kind of reminds me of my childhood. So been loving that. And popcorn. Just random moments of the day I crave popcorn, and that's been satiating my cravings. A few miscellaneous things that I've been loving. These Good Night Moon postage stickers. I have 2 of these, and I love them so much. I don't even want to use them. I love them so much. But this was one of my favorite books as a child, so these are very sentimental to me. And I want to use them for letters that I can write to my grandparents. I talked about this device last video, this jade tension facial roller massager thing, but it's this little tool. It's like a gua sha, but you kind of like rub it along your jawline, on the temples of your forehead, and also like on the brow line, and it just really helps if you have migraines, like I do. I have migraines so much more frequently than usual, and it helps a lot, especially if you put it in the fridge. Okay, I'm going to talk about media, music, podcasts, films a little bit later in this video, and then if I'm missing anything or if I forget anything, I'll talk about it later in this video too. Okay, hi again. I kind of look like a waiter, but that's okay. Going into the next part of monthly favorites, I want to talk about like some media stuff that I've been loving. I really love listening to podcasts, and I love perfume and fragrance, as you know, and I want to recommend 2 fragrance podcasts. One is called Fragrophilia with Jeff and Jane, and they are the cutest couple in the world, literally goals, and they have an adorable son named Henry, and they talk about their experience with niche perfumes, all of the things that they're loving within the niche perfume world, and they have impeccable taste. If you are looking to step outside of your comfort zone and actually look into fragrances that are not only really, really incredible and wearable, but just interesting, and most of these fragrances have such interesting stories behind both the fragrances, the perfumers, the brand. Like I said, I'm very much into the storytelling aspect of fragrance, which you would know, like if you watch any of my TikTok videos. I think it's such a beautiful art form, and the way that they talk about scent really emulates that and really resonates with me as someone who is a fragrance lover. So Fragrophilia, and then I also recommend The Perfume Room with Emma Vernon, and she is so sweet. Like her personality feels like a ray of sunshine. She also has incredible taste, and she interviews such interesting people within the fragrance industry. So yeah, those are the two that I highly recommend. The other podcast that I've been loving, actually, I think I listen to this podcast the most out of any podcast, like in my library, and that is the New Yorker Critics at Large. I love that podcast. They talk about culture, they talk about books, they talk about entertainment, arts, things going on in the news. If you are a fan of the New Yorker, I highly recommend it. There are so many other podcasts that I listen to ad nauseum. Like I am a podcast fiend. So if you are interested in more podcast recommendations, let me know and I will share more. With that said, I have also watched a few films, so let me tell you about those as well. The first film that I watched is Picnic at Hanging Rock from 1975. This is a fever dream of lace, sun, and girlhood suspended in time. The air feels a little too still in this film. The rocks are too knowing. It's very haunting in that quiet, unspeakable way. Like something beautiful has just gone missing and no one knows how to grieve it. It is the perfect summer film. The other film that I watched recently is Chongqing Express, the Wong Kar-wai film from 1994 with Faye Wong. This is love in motion. It is neon lit, and it flickers between strangers, and it feels like slow heartbreak and fast food and messy hair and cassette tapes, and it's just a film about yearning and how intimacy can really bloom and fade into the space of a city night. I absolutely love that film. The other one that I watched is La Notte from 1961, and this is just this aching portrait of emotional distance, the kind that really builds without words in beautiful rooms, and it's very slow and stylish, and there's so much silence between lovers, but they have so much more to say within their body and their chemistry than conversations could ever say. I have also watched Bonjour Tristesse, the one from 1958. I am dying to see the one from 2024 with Chloe Sevigny, but I watched the original version, and it is just a glittering summer laced with envy, seduction, and just the ache of growing up way too fast. Everything is just very pretty and light and dreamy until the weight of consequence just really falls like a shadow in a teen's world. It's just youth encapsulated as both charm and curse. I think that's it. I think I'm missing one. I know I also watched Working Girl from 1988, and I cannot think of the other one, but if I think of it, I will let you know. And I also missed a couple things from earlier in the video, so let me share those with you too. The first one is Letter Writer by Rachel Symes. I adore this woman, let me tell you. She writes for The New Yorker. She used to have this blog that no longer really exists, where she talked about fragrance, and she had this thing called the Perfume Genie, where people would have these very specific requests for fragrances, and she would recommend them to people. And I love that kind of era of fragrance, kind of pre social media and off of Fragrantica, where just, I don't know, it felt very pure and raw, and people who were just really passionate about smelly things like me. But this book is not really about fragrance, but it's about the art of writing letters, handwritten letters, which is something that I would like to do more of, especially over the summer. There is a section in this book about how to perfume letters, which I love, but it's just very, I love the pictures, I love the art, I love the illustrations. It's just a very fun read at night when you're trying to wind down from the day and you don't really feel like reading anything heavy or watching anything heavy. So I've been loving this. This is a very random side note. I don't know if you know this. I film everything on my old iPhone. I don't own a camera. I don't own any equipment. I really want to invest in a good microphone. I want to invest in a camera. But until then, this is the quality of my cinema, so I apologize for that. But one day I will get a good camera and it will be perfect. Maybe for Christmas this year, if I end up on Santa's good list. I also forgot to mention this food item. I love fruit almost more than life itself. Fruit is my love language. If I ever find a partner one day, I haven't found one yet, I don't think really ever, but if I ever do, cutting up fresh fruits from the farm is my love language. There is something so sentimental about this, but I digress. These fruits, I love stone fruit. It's one of my favorite breeds of fruit. Peaches, apricots especially. And apples, but it's not apple season yet. So there is this farm in California called Frog Hollow Farms. And they have some of the best fresh fruits I've ever tried in my life, because one thing about me, I will splurge on food items, like specialty food items that you get at very bitchy, kitschy grocery stores. That's just my my weakness. Anyways, it is apricot season. I ordered these apricots from Frog Hollow Farms, and I have been savoring them. When you get fruit like this, believe me, I'm a baker, I am a cook, I love to cook. But the last thing I want to do is ruin these little beauty gems and put them in a cake. I just think that they are so sweet and so decadent and they're such a little treat, and I don't want to ruin them or tamper with them, so I eat them raw, as they should be eaten. Anyways, if you are into fresh fruits like me, you should check out Frog Hollow Farms. It is almost peach season, but until then, I will be savoring these apricots. Okay, if you live in New York City, there is a store in the West Village called Big Night, and they happen to be right next door to my favorite tea shop / cafe in New York City called Paquita. But Big Night, I got some goodies. They also have an online shop, so if you don't live there, you could order stuff online and they will send it to you. I also kind of had a mental breakdown in the middle of the week, and because of this, speaking of spending obscene amounts of money on food, I decided to order these potato chips. Yeah, these were a lot of money. I don't know what I was thinking, and I don't know how they taste, and I'm gonna try them. But these kind of went viral over the holiday season because everyone was gifting fun foodie items. So I got them, and I feel like they're so cute and so summery, and I can't wait to reuse this tin because I think it would be very cute as a wine cooler, right? Hear me out. You're sitting out by the pool, you've eaten all these chips, they're gone. You clean this out, you fill it with ice, you put a little, a wine bottle or your favorite little fizzy, bubbly, sparkly drink. yeah. I think I should try them. Before I do that, apart from this very adorable red tote, which I love this. Dinner and Party Essentials. Super cute. I also got this candle called Dinner Party. I love the color. It smells like olives and it smells like a dinner party. But this is beautiful. I'm a sucker for candles, so this was a very good purchase and I cannot wait to burn this. Okay, I finally cracked the lid open. They smell like dog food. Can you see? Okay, yeah, you can see. This feels illegal to eat chips this expensive. Okay. By the way, I have the worst facial expressions. I tend to look one mood. If you ever see me out in the wild, just FYI, if you ever see me out in the wild, just know that I always look very, very angry. I have the worst RBF imaginable. And I've been told by almost every single person who I know that I appear to be unapproachable, like I'm going to a funeral, like all of, like, very intimidating. But then the second that they talk to me, they're like, oh my goodness, like you're like, you have such a warm, calming aura. Anyways, I say this because don't judge these chips based off of my facial expression. I would be a terrible reviewer IRL. Anyways, these were okay. Definitely not worth the money. But the tin is cute and I will make very good use out of this tin because I think it's adorable, especially for summertime. Especially for summertime. Yeah. All right, I have one more monthly favorite for you, and that is my new Onitsuka Tiger shoes. I love Onitsuka Tigers. And I got the black and white pair because I wanted something that would go with everything, and I ended up thrifting these. So I got them for a very good price, and I'm gonna just show a photo of them because I don't allow any shoes in my home and I don't want to put them in my hands because that's kind of gross, but I will show you a photo right here. So that's my last monthly favorite. Anyways, this has been really fun. I hope that you enjoyed. Yeah. Okay, last note before I leave you. I was gonna do my June TBR, but I did not have time to record that, and I apologize. But next week I'm gonna have a June TBR and several other things. I think I'm gonna do my fragrance collection. But I am curious to know if you would be interested in more like philosophical type of conversations about different topics and things. Of course, like, I'm always going to talk about books and fragrance, but I'm looking for ways to weave in philosophy and just kind of my own mindless yapping about my view on different beliefs in the world and things like that. More of like a video essay style. Just throwing that out there. Curious to hear your thoughts on that. But that is all I have for you this week. It's nice and short and sweet, and I hope that you have an incredible weekend. I cannot believe that it is basically June. I truly cannot wrap my head around that, and I know that it's really annoying because everyone says that every month, but I literally kind of feel like I just made this video for you. With that said, I will see you next week, and let me know what you're wanting more of from me.